Well, Watch D.A. Live is actually live tonight, and it's very important that it is, because not only are we breaking down last night's remarkable Knicks comeback, we're looking at the Stanley Cup playoffs as well. I've got some A's thoughts, but most importantly, we have a living legend from D.A. show lore that is coming on tonight to confirm an appearance at Bob's Bar in 2 weeks. Tonight, we hear from one of the GOATs. It's time to connect the mothership. I'm getting chills. We're 2 weeks away, 14 days from Bob's Bar, and it is all coming together, and I'm so extraordinarily excited. Welcome inside, everybody, to another edition of Watch D.A. Live. I appreciate you being with us tonight. Now, last week we were not live. I was in Vegas hanging out with the likes of Sammy Hagar and company. More on that, but first, want to make sure that everybody remembers why today is so important. Memorial Day, obviously, is for those that we have lost over the course of many, many decades and centuries of battle and combat. And, today really is about remembering those who made the ultimate sacrifice. So no matter if that is somebody in your family, if it is, incredible thank you to your family. If it is anybody close to you, obviously the same thing. But even if it is not, for everybody to remember those that we lost today is super important, and the respect that deserves. So that is Memorial Day, and it's super, super important. And we thank everybody who has made that sacrifice and their families, obviously, today. Today, as I mentioned, we got some sports stuff to get to, but boy, I said, even though it's a holiday, even though a lot of people are off, today is a day that we cannot miss on Watch D.A. Live. So Aiden made sure that he cut bait from his family and his proceedings early. I felt like I should do the same thing today because we are coming up on this Bob's Bar event. And if you can make it in 2 weeks, I just think you're going to have the best time. I am right now finalizing the plans for the food, but the music is set. There is a husband and wife duo named the American Duo, and they are fantastic. They are so talented. So they can sing both a male vocal lead and a female vocal lead. And I'm going to give you some of the bands that we have as part of a playlist. I've been working alongside Randy Trask, who actually plays in a band in Ashtabula, Ohio. Randy in Ohio has been an amazing D-alien for such a long time. He came to Bob's Bar last year in November. He came out to multiple station events for Sirius XM last year, and he's been helping me on the music front. So he was able to lock down this wonderful band, and we put together this list of songs that they're going to do. So here's just some of the bands that this live music duo is going to perform. I'm not going to give you the specific songs to keep it a little bit of a surprise, but Tom Petty, Zeppelin, Alanis Morissette, the Stones, some 90s in Lit, 80s in Blondie, Panic at the Disco, Santana. You want some real range, Cher and Sabrina Carpenter, Miley Cyrus, The Police, one of my favorite bands of all time, Billy Idol, Amy Winehouse, Blink 182. The list goes on and on and on. We've got The Killers, John Denver, Shaboozey, and how about Randy? Randy Trask, Randy in Ohio, is going to be singing Paradise City by Guns N' Roses at this event. So is that not reason enough to be there? That Randy in Ohio, who has a history of fronting a band that does this classic rock, is going to be performing Paradise City for you. And he asked me, D.A., would you sing one of these songs? And I said, hey, it's my party that I'm throwing. Why not? He said, pick it. I said, okay. I went down the list, had to really consider what one I thought I could do. I don't have a great singing voice, but I do feel like if I know the words, as long as it's here and not here, I could probably get it done. So look for me in 2 weeks performing. First time I'm announcing this. Didn't put this on social. Even Aiden doesn't know this. In 2 weeks, I'll be performing Third Eye Blind, Semi-Charmed Life. That's right. How can you not be there? An iconic song from my graduation year in high school, 1997. It was all over the charts that year, that summer when I graduated. I know that song inside and out. I love that song. Love Third Eye Blind. We are performing that. I'll be singing that at this Bob's Bar show. I mean, come on. How could you not be there? 2 weeks from today in West Babylon, New York. This thing's going to be awesome. I'm doing a site check on Wednesday. I'll let everyone know how that goes. Site check is coming on Wednesday where we're going to put everything. But I've got so much cool stuff planned for this day. Okay, so much. And the people that are coming are amazing. Aiden, obviously, is going to be there, the Marquette Marvel. You know all the guys from the old show, Mraz, Bogues, the list goes on and on and on. Babs is going to be there for those of you that love the news show, Sirius XM. Babs is going to make his way out there as well. We've got guys from both stations, both behind the scenes and on the mic. Zach Gelb's going to make it out. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So in 2 weeks, come on out, West Babylon, New York, spend the day. It's going to be a Sunday, June the 8th. We're going to kick off the festivities at noon. I would imagine the formal party goes until about 5 or 6. And then we'll kind of just see where we are at that point in time, I would say. That's kind of how we're going to play it. More on Bob's Bar a little bit later because, as I said, we have a mystery guest announcing his intentions. I said his, so that's already kind of a giveaway. Announcing their intentions, his intentions, for Bob's Bar in 2 weeks. You're going to love this, okay? All right, let's get cooking on the sports stuff with your Furious Five. I just want to start with that crazy comeback last night by the Knicks. And look, as you know, if you've been listening to the radio show on weekday mornings on Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio on Sirius XM, I'm pulling hard for the Pacers. I am surrounded by obnoxious Knicks fans. I can't take the bing-bong ding-dongs down on 7th Avenue much longer. I just think the Pacers were completely overlooked coming into the series, and I work with loudmouth New Yorkers already, so I want to see the Pacers silence those Knicks. That being said, I don't know what happened last night to the Pacers leading by 20 and then completely collapsing. I thought, first of all, I never expected Big Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, to be the clutch performer of the night. Cat was so invisible over the course of yesterday's game until the fourth quarter. He was just getting pushed around. He was completely invisible. Who could have seen that coming? You got to give him credit for stepping up and carrying the offense in the fourth quarter. But also, it was the Knicks' defense. I thought the Pacers struggled so mightily to find any shots that they really kind of descended into hero ball, which is just not their style. They're so well balanced. They have so many shot makers and shot takers that for them to just kind of like not have any rhythm, to really not have any make the next pass in their offense was pretty startling. So I give the Knicks credit. They completely bogged down the middle of that attack, of that under the basket. They forced the Knicks to they forced the Pacers rather to keep playing outside and get frustrated. They settled for a lot of bad shots, and that was a Knicks comeback victory that they desperately needed, as we know. You fall down 3-0, your series is over. The season's over. It might already be over because you lost the first 2 at home, and nobody ever comes back from that either. But obviously 3-0 is even more dire. They were in desperate need of a comeback. They were down 20 on the road, and they found it. And this is so reminiscent of the Knicks and the Pacers series from the 90s. Those series had these types of dramatic swings where just when you think you figured it out, you didn't. And just when you thought you had a team dead to rights, they weren't. And just when you thought a guy didn't have the late game magic, he does. And I think this is the best thing that could have happened to this NBA postseason because, this these giant swings in comebacks. I know it's exciting in some ways, but it's kind of ridiculous. And I think it kind of waters down the drama when no matter how big the lead is, you're like, well, just wait, because there's a couple of threes waiting around the bend and 18 points becomes 6 points in the blink of an eye. And because of it, it feels like nobody's that great. But so what we needed was some real hate. We needed some real sports hate, some real drama, some real intensity, and some real the home crowd moments. We got a big one in game one, obviously, when Halliburton hits that shot and does the choke sign. But we also get it in reverse when the Knicks last night beat the Pacers in game number 3. So I love it that it feels old school. I love it that it feels like the 90s and 2000s. I like it because it really does feel like there's so much on the line. A lot of times in the NBA postseason, it has felt like, these teams aren't very good. But the fact that this has so much intensity and so much on the line really does make it feel old school. And the two parties involved, you have big city Knicks, you have small town Indianapolis Pacers, Indiana Pacers. The Knicks versus the Hicks was the tagline back in the 90s. Maybe not so much now, but it still has that thing on it. So I've loved it. What a great series. Can't wait for game number 4. As for the other series in the Western Conference, my biggest question is, how do we trust the Oklahoma City Thunder? This is a team that won 64 games of the regular season. No team that's ever won that many games has been blown out by 40 in the playoffs. And that's exactly what we saw in game number 3. I know they could really kind of afford to kick game 3 away, punt it away. But what does that say about whether or not you're really as great as your record? 60-plus wins, the greatest point differential in NBA history, the greatest defensive metrics that you're ever going to see, elite stifling defense, the MVP of the league in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And yet, when you have a chance to put your foot on the throat of the opponent to get to the NBA Finals, you lose by 40? It is very hard for me to take that seriously, because when I think of 60-win franchises that were trains from the start of the season through the NBA Finals, and I put them up on a big board, those teams don't lose by 40 in the playoffs. And so tonight, game number 4, I think tells me a lot about whether or not, even if the Thunder win the championship, whether they truly were great or this was just a season of incredible parity and they took advantage of it. I mean, I think that Adam Silver and the league likes this. They like the parity. I'm not sure they would love small market NBA Finals with Indiana and Minnesota or Indiana and Oklahoma City. But what I do think they love is every franchise and fan base feeling like they have a chance. I'm all for that. But what I also would like to know is that if you are going to go 15-1 in the NFL regular season or 15-2 in today's 17-game schedule, and you have this incredible point differential and you have a league MVP, that at some point of the season you didn't lose by 32 points. Because then I wonder whether you really are that great, whether you do belong in the pantheon of the all-time greats. And that's what I need to see tonight from OKC. In the Stanley Cup Final, we are more than likely going to get a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup Final, which was a classic. That Game 7, Panthers and Oilers, one of the highest-rated NHL games in general in 30 years. So having that as a rematch, even though sometimes rematches can be boring for an audience, I think would be great. And it looks like we're going there. The Panthers already lead 3-0. The Hurricanes are getting absolutely bee-slapped. And then on the other hand, you have a Oilers team that lost the first game but has come on like a freight train of the last 2, scoring 6 goals in game number 3. And now suddenly you have the best player of the world, Connor McDavid, scoring goals and not just setting up his opponents, or setting up his teammates, rather. If we get Panthers and Oilers again, I think that's amazing. I really do, because then you have the Panthers going for a repeat, and you have Connor McDavid going for his first ring, his first cup, and the Edmonton Oilers as a potential dominant team for years with all of that talent, Draisaitl and company, bringing Canada home their first championship, their first Stanley Cup since '93. and the city of Edmonton their first Stanley Cup since Mark Messier was playing there 35 years ago. So I love that as a matchup. I'm pulling for that as a matchup. No offense to the Stars. The Carolina Hurricanes are already cooked. But I think if we get Panthers and Oilers, it's a best-case scenario. The Panthers are an incredibly tough team to play. They obviously have the grit, the physicality, and the championship DNA. The Oilers are searching for that, and they got the best player in the universe, two of the best players in the universe. I love that matchup. Absolutely love that matchup, okay? All right. And finally, from a baseball standpoint, the Oakland A's turned Sacramento A's, soon to be Las Vegas A's maybe, lost 11 straight games, longest losing streak in Major League Baseball, and that includes the deplorable Colorado Rockies. 11 straight losses for the A's. And couldn't happen to a better guy, John Fisher, huh? So I talked about this last week. I did a deep dive on this awkward relationship between the city of Sacramento and the A's, and whether they're excited, whether they're a little embarrassed, whether it's too awkward to really put your arms around and embrace. Remember, the Sacramento Kings nearly left. They had to save that team, so there's a little bit of, I think, maybe some remorse that, hey, this is happening. We had it almost happen to us. Now we're doing it to somebody else just down the road in Oakland. Dan Moore is a Bay Area native. He's an excellent sports writer. He's written for a number of big-time publications, and he did a great piece for The Ringer recently. I sat down with him and did a deep dive on this. We're going to release that interview this week. It'll either be released on the channel Tuesday or Wednesday, okay? With it, I'm also going to release some bonus coverage. We'll call it Inside Dirt. And with that, I'm going to give you my thoughts, deep dive on the interview and of the scenario. That's going to be our first piece of members-only content. Yes, we're going to do some members-only content as well. Everything that you normally get for free, you're going to still get for free. All of the Watch D.A. live episodes, all the D.A. deep dives, the Q&D.A. long-form interviews, all that is going to be all still free on the channel. But I wanted to create bonus content for the hardcore D-aliens for a couple of bucks a month so that you guys can really come inside these conversations that I'm having, how it came together behind the scenes, how I really dissected or thought about it. And I wanted to kind of bring you into the process. So that'll be the first one this week. I'll send out all the instructions on how it's going to work, what you're going to get if you want to be a member as well to the channel. It'll be, like I said, a couple of bucks a month. It won't be anything crazy, but I just thought this would be a great way for those of you that have constantly asked me, hey, is there going to be bonus content? Hey, can I get behind the scenes a little bit? Hey, I'm willing to pay if you want to put some more stuff out there. I know it's a lot of work, and it is work, but I wanted to do something that I keep getting asked about. So we're going to do that. I'll give you all the instructions, but just so you know that's coming. The conversation is going to be free. Don't worry about that. That's going to be out there. The Q&A series where we do long-form conversations, that'll be out there no matter what. But the next chapter of that will be, that'll be part of the members-only content that we do that we're going to start to do coming up here in the summer, and look for that coming up this week if you want to check out that as well. So that's where we stand on all that housekeeping stuff. Okay. I know you guys have been dying about this. I started teasing this yesterday, today as well. A living legend. Our next guest really does have a spot in DA show lore that will be forever remembered. I think when you see the guest, you will immediately remember the moment or moments that stick out in your brain about this person's appearances on the show. I just think you can't tell the history of the DA show without our next guest. And our next guest has come to the table tonight to make his plans known for Bob's Bar in 2 weeks. I am eternally grateful that he is going to decide to make a decision on this tonight, kind of like we're choosing hats in a great recruiting video here on the show. You can make your guesses right now in the chat who you think this living legend is, but it is time to unveil that person right here tonight. Yes, the songbird of a
Wow.
new generation.
I'm here.
Robbie Rosenhaus is making it to Bob's Bar. Robbie from beautiful Twin Cities, Minnesota, Minneapolis. How are you?
The Timberwolves, Mark Twain, and Robbie Rosenhaus. What do they all have in common? Reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Big one coming up tonight downtown, which you can see in the back here if you're watching on YouTube and your social media channels. As you can see downtown Minneapolis in the background, Timberwolves getting ready for a big game tonight. But I'm getting ready for a big Bob's Bar appearance because the first one I was at, it's going to be hard to be topped, DA.
I know, and you sang the national anthem to begin the proceedings, so I almost wonder whether we should have you do that again, almost like singing the national anthem at the Indy 500.
I think I sang 2 national anthems, if you remember correctly. We did one for our Canadian listeners on the Fan 590 at the time. Yes. So if you want me to sing the anthem, we can do that. If you want me to sing something else, we can do that as well. But it's all for the D-Aliens. It's all for the fun of Bob's Bar. And that's what we're there for, is to have a great afternoon on Long Island.
That's amazing. When's the last time you were back on Long Island?
So it's been about 6 months, 7 months or so. Went back to see some family. So it's been a while. I'm planning on playing some golf early in the morning before I head out to Bob's Bar. So trying to make the most of my day with a bacon, egg, and cheese, of course. I mean, let's be real. You know, coming back to New York, have to stuff that one in. Going to play around the golf and then around the drinks and laughs with D.A., Mraz, and the rest of the crew.
All right, very good. Now, you've been texting Mraz, though, on while you've been out there in Minnesota the last 7 months or so. So you guys stay connected, right?
Yes, absolutely. Sean and I talk a bunch, whether it's about the Giants, whether it's about the Yankees, whether it's about hockey, which is probably between the two of us. I mean, we love football, don't get us wrong, but between our hockey, we love. But he didn't love me when he was the producer of the DA show. And we'll get to that, I'm sure, as the moments go by. But yes, I keep in touch with Sean, and he's got a beautiful family, and he's become a lifelong friend. So I wish him nothing but the best at the Fan.
We got to retire your jersey in one of the all-time moments. I believe Mraz would consider that his favorite moment ever in DA show history. We hoisted your Minnesota Vikings jersey to the rafters of CBS Sports Radio. And then you sang My Way by Sinatra, which was really a tear-jerking, beautiful moment. I don't know if we can recreate that, but that really does solidify you in the hearts and minds of many D-aliens forever.
Well, for those of you who don't know, Sean and Mraz and I were put in a picks contest against one another. So I would make weekly appearances where I would come in and basically I'd be the guy at the piano without a tip jar because I would just sing something every week, whether it be the Perfect Strangers theme, the Full House theme, Mentos commercials, Maxwell House, Folgers. I mean, it didn't matter. I was a walking, talking 90s commercial. That's basically what I was. But we had so much fun. And again, just memories I'll treasure forever, including that retirement ceremony, which was just once in a lifetime moment.
Truly amazing. Plus, you ate Death by Salsa as well. So we have that.
Was brutal.
And your drops live forever. So we always had those as well. So where are you gonna be watching tonight's T-Wolves game?
So I'll actually be watching it at my place here. I have tickets to Game 6. Wasn't able to get tickets to Games 3 or 4. So hoping that with a win tonight, that would guarantee a Game 6, as the series would be tied up at 2. And as these NBA playoffs have shown, and as you've told the listeners, I mean, anything goes. The Knicks have come back from 23 times. I mean, the Wolves just blew out the Thunder by 50. So anything goes in these playoffs. And we're just looking forward to seeing an exciting young team and perhaps Anthony Edwards take the reins and tie this series back up at 2.
Delta 9 Brian wants to know whether you are willing to grab the reins of the mic when we have our cover band playing. We've got an American duo playing, which is a husband and wife combination. They play all types of songs. We have the hit list ready to go. I'm going to be singing Third Eye Blind, Semi-Charmed Life. Randy Trask is going to be singing Guns N' Roses. He's actually the front man in a band that does classic rock. Are you willing, if needed, to jump on the mic to sing a song?
Yes, absolutely. Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen, Billy Joel, the 3 Bs, anything you want, I'm there to sing for the cover band and for the D-Aliens because it'll be so much fun to sing in front of them once again.
I think we might get Babs on that mic as well. I got a feeling when Cher is being played, he might have to grab the mic as well to get there.
Is he a gypsy, a tramp, or a thief?
Combination of all three. D, all of the above.
D, all the above. Yeah, exactly right.
Well, I can't wait to see you, man. I hope that you travel safe. Everything is good. It looks like you got a nice setup out there. Nice night out there on Memorial Day Monday.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Just took the dog to the patio at the bar down the block. Sat and had a meal, then came back doing the spot with you, and yeah, it should be a fantastic evening here. They're not doing a block party like they do in some of the cities here. They did them last year, but they're not doing them this year. So again, it'll just be the people inside the arena. I got a buddy coming over to watch it, so it'll just be the two of us and the dog, and away we go here from Minneapolis.
Should we send off the listeners with your segment with maybe a Mentos commercial or Perfect Strangers or one of the jingles that you made famous?
Sure. It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better with life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying true. With Mentos fresh and full of life. There you go. So there's the you got people on the rooftop here looking at me like I got four heads.
That's great.
They're like, what is going on here?
That's great, man.
Oh, man.
Well, thanks for making the effort to come out in 2 weeks, brother. I can't wait to see you. Enjoy the game tonight, and it's going to be awesome in 2 weeks. We're going to have so much fun.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing everybody out there, including Mraz, and, of course, all the D-aliens. So can't wait for it, D.A.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you, man. See you, Robbie.
Take care. Have a great night. Go Wolves.
All right, go Wolves. There you go. Robbie Rosenhaus, known as a songbird of a new generation, sang so many ridiculous songs of the show, made so many ridiculous performances, and now is going to be flying in from Minnesota to make an appearance at Bob's Bar and probably sing the national anthem to get things cooking and ready to go. And yeah, for those that started listening to the show post Robbie, he and Mraz became frenemies. You know, they were friendly, but then they became enemies and rivals. And it was the most glorious, most ridiculous, most absurd rivals of all time. So the fact that Robbie's going to come back for Bob's Bar with Mraz there is going to be all types of tremendous nostalgia, friendship, and energy from the show and for so many good years in the show. I can also tell you another huge confirmation that we got listener-wise. Gordon in Vancouver. That's right. Gordon in Vancouver's making the trip from Yes Vancouver in 2 weeks. This guy is the ultimate gamer. I just love when he decides it's important enough to show up. Gordon in Vancouver is the best party animal you're ever going to see. He shows up with his own bottle of alcohol, and he just says, whoever wants to drink with me, come drink with me. He tells stories. He's a world traveler. He's listened to the show forever. Last year to Bob's Bar in November, he brought his wife and his grandson, which was amazing. Yeah, his grandson hopped the flight with him. So I don't know if he's going to be bringing extended family as well. But I'm so excited. Gordon in Vancouver is coming also. I can also tell you, legendary D-aliens, Kristen in Buffalo, as I said, Randy Trask, Moist Pork, all going to be making the trek down to see us. So you're going to be able to meet so many cool people. I know Iron Man Sean from South Carolina is coming up. I know Backwards Brian is coming in. I've got so many great confirmations. If you're coming in, next week is when I will give out the address. So just hold tight. I know I've just been telling everybody West Babylon because I don't want to put a home address out in public for everybody, but I will have that available next week for you. And so make sure that if you don't have the address, you're just connected with me on social media or Aiden. We'll both have it, and we'll pass it along as needed. Obviously, if you want to reach out to any of the listeners that I just mentioned, Kristen, Moist, Randy, anybody, they'll have the address as well, so you can easily hit them up as well on social media or if you have their contact information. So it's going to be freaking awesome, and I cannot wait. I really cannot wait to keep just this party rolling And it's going to be freaking awesome. It really is. It's going to be so cool, and I'm so excited about all of it. The Bob's Bar show is going to be Aiden's first chance to be there. And so, Aiden, why don't you hop on here with me? Have you ever been in the same room as Robbie Rosenhaus?
I've not.
Wow, you haven't met the legend.
Have not. And I'm glad that he approved of my intro graphic.
Okay. So
with the mystery guest revealed, but no, this is we'll be Midwest counterparts a little bit. I know he's more of a Midwest guy than I am, but Minnesota, Wisconsin, we can sometimes butt heads. Hopefully we can have a hug this time.
I mean, how exciting. You used to listen to the show when Robbie was a focal point of the show. So very excited to have him flying in for this thing.
Amazing. It was right around that time, I believe, when I first jumped on the mothership bandwagon was about 2017, 2018. So it must have been right around the famous jersey retirement ceremony. And even afterwards, I do remember, going over the 12 DAs year after year. That was probably Mraz's favorite moment, as you said. And you can hear in the lingo with him just joining there for a few minutes how similar they are, how much he fit into the fabric of the show, how bad his football picks were to be banned from the show. So I can't wait. Just that 10-minute spot that you guys did, I'm like, wow, I can't wait to meet that guy.
He's going to be awesome. Now, what do you think about the unveil that we're going to be having some people sing on the mic during this, including yours truly, with a little third eye blind?
Well, this has brought a whole new wrinkle into the comment section tonight because I think the first takeaway is that some people aren't as confident as you are that you can belt out third eye blind. You have some doubters in the comments, I must say.
Okay.
So that's number one.
I thrive on the doubters. I'm like Halliburton.
Exactly. And number two, I'm getting some extra requests here flooded in, which I'm sure we can accommodate. And I'll jump ahead to one of the comments I wanted to highlight as part of Beam Ups, because Delta 9 Brian, backwards Brian, asked for Gloria, which I think is only fit.
Oh, yes. Great call. Great call. We got to dust off Gloria for this. Excellent suggestion.
And I believe there's only one person that will be allowed to do Gloria. He'll be in attendance. So no, it's like karaoke. You can't take that song for Mraz. It needs to be saved exclusively for him.
That's right. That's a great call. I love that idea.
Yeah, the detractors came, most vehemently from Moist Pork.
Okay.
DA singing, "Should I bring earplugs?" Got it. I feel like that summed it up.
Yeah, look, there's going to be doubters, understandably so. But look, I've never seen a challenge I didn't want to face head on. And the idea that we're going to have a cooler of drinks, a red hot grill cooking up amazing food, live music, and people that I love doing the show with for years, both on CBS and Sirius XM, along with legendary listeners. And as we all know, I'll have a few tricks up my sleeve. I'm going to want to jump on the mic. It's just going to be natural. So even if it's terrible, it is going to be something I'm like, yeah, after that last beer, I think I can do this. I will definitely have some beer courage going on to do this. So, hey, maybe it's only a verse. Maybe it's only a chorus. We'll see if it's really that bad and cats start howling somewhere in the neighborhood. But we got to let her rip, because Bob's Bar is back in full effect. And it's been a long time since we had the full-on Bob's Bar. We had to wait it out last summer because of all the things going on in the Mraz family. There were births, there were weddings, there were showers, etc. So we had to kind of push it to November just to make sure we kept the tradition going. This year is the first full-on one for 2 years. So now we really got to go all out. And it looks like we'll be doing it at Upside Down Mike's house, just down the block from Mraz's and Bob's Bar, which is phenomenal. I'm going to do the site check coming up this week. So happy that Mike has offered his place. He's got a great setup, a great backyard, a great whole situation. He's got his huge lot. It's going to be awesome. Great parking situation as well, so it's going to be really, really good. So like I said, I'll make sure that we have the address coming up for you next week so that you are good to go. But if you want to tour Bob's Bar also, if you want to come in a little early, stay a little late, you want to walk down the block to go say hi to Bob, you walk by, he's going to be, probably in a wheelchair with his knee replacement. we'll just walk by. You got that opportunity too. It's going to be really, really fun. And,
Mike is actually in
beers.
the chat. Speaking of our host, I'll make sure to have a Fudgy the Whale cake for Robbie. How about that?
Yeah, that would be amazing. But, Robbie, we had a Fudgy the Whale cake in studio when he was there, and we had that really burned Mraz's his you-know-what, because he loves Fudgy the Whale. And when his birthday happened, he was out of work. He took a vacation day or whatever. He was out that day. So we had Robbie come in, and we had the Fudgy the Whale cake with Robbie, and just that chapped his ass so badly. That was such a good one.
That's another part of the Watch D.A, lore that I have not got to be a part of. Eating a Fudgy the Whale cake before, seeing Robbie, seeing all the lovely Dalians. This will be my first Bob's Bar. So all around, I cannot wait to see everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be so good. I'm so excited. And I've had some.
I'll get on the mic too. If people want to add,
Oh, yeah? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Mark me down.
All right. Maybe you and I will split Semi-Charmed Life. There you go.
In that case, I'm going to have to study up. I feel like I could go for 1,000 miles, Vanessa Carlton.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I could go for something like that. We'll brainstorm it along the way. If you want to volunteer something for me, throw it in the chat.
All right. Very good. I love it. Do we have a winner for Little Last Dive Bar merch?
Yeah, let's do our old pal Timbo Slice, because he's been badgering me for a while, and he has been trying to challenge, speaking of getting on the mic, Robbie to a sing-off for years. So I feel like we have to make that happen as well. If he's not available, then
okay.
You got a couple of weeks, Timbo. I'm finally calling you out because I know you've been, a patron of the show basically every week. But if you want to come be a part of the sing-off, we'll make it happen. If not, maybe we'll have to do it as part of our members-only content that we just released this week. So we'll make that happen one way or
Love
another.
it. Should also be noted, Bob's Bar, the first shipment of DA show merch is coming through for Bob's Bar. I just got off the phone on Thursday night with Brian, Last Dive Bar Brian, and they're going to be running the whole thing because they've got the printers, they've got the drop shipping, they've got the packaging, they got the whole thing, and they're building out the site for me. They're just amazing. They're doing me so many solids, and it's going to look awesome. The graphics are in, the T-shirts are in. We're going to be putting them on some cool stuff, some cool merch. And he's like, all right, first shipment will be there for Bob's Bar. So we will have that merch first at Bob's Bar in 2 weeks. And obviously, it'll still be available to purchase online if you can't be at Bob's Bar. But the first look at the merch will be at Bob's Bar. So that is going to be awesome as well. So I've had conversations
we sell
about
it on
merch.
Tour. We're on tour going
That's
out
right.
to the show, and then you'll get it online afterward.
That's right. So we've got merch there. We've got live music there. We've got food there. We've got all types of hijinks there. I've been told that Chris at the Buffalo Galfieri is actually going to be making her tot casserole as well, tater tot casserole to bring down. So that could be delicious, straight from Buffalo. And you know that they can eat well in Buffalo, and she's an amazing cook. So stay tuned for that as well, coming up in 2 weeks. And the show will be broadcast. We'll be doing a live broadcast right here on YouTube from Bob's Bar in 2 weeks. So if you can't make it, obviously, you can watch it there. So we're all about it. 2 weeks from now, West Babylon, New York, Sunday, June the 8th. Make sure you are there. And Timbo Slice, make sure you get us your mailing address and the size of your T-shirt so we can send you out a little prize pack for watching Watch D.A live each and every week. You've been an awesome, loyal customer and loyal viewer, and appreciate it very much, man. Even if you slide into everybody's DMs and tell them and harass them, you're kind of like an agitator in hockey, but there's a spot for an agitator as well. We need an agitator on this team also, so Timbo's always going to be welcome on the team as well. This weekend, obviously the long weekend, holiday weekend, and hopefully you guys had a good holiday weekend. I Just got back today to Studio DA here in Casa Amendo from up in Rhode Island. My wife's parents, the Bourbon Bells parents, live in Rhode Island, so we go up there for long summer weekends, or at least this long summer weekend we got up there. Celebrated AJ's second birthday, which was pretty cool. And I got myself into the mood summer-wise. This is my kickoff to summer, as it is for most of you as well. And why don't we do an exhale cocktail on the weekend? Look at my exhale cocktail right there. That's the cooler of beer that we had going on at AJ's birthday this weekend. You'll see some Peronis. As you know, I'm a big Peroni guy. That's a Peroni bottle. It's a 12-pack right there. That's also some Narragansett lagers. Now, that's a Rhode Island product, and you might be able to get it outside of the Northeast as well. But delicious cold lager. So we had a couple of those in the ice chest as well. And you might also see a little make. Oh, there you go. I had to sneeze as well. Seen a little maker's mark. Look, there's a little maker's mark there in the corner. Okay, so you have that as well. So we really had a good time. That was ice cold, and if you see it, you see that ice. That's after like 10 hours in the cooler, right? Because it could be really crunchy, sharp ice. You let it melt. You keep that water in there. You don't drain that water. You keep it all sealed up. So it's just swimming in ice water. That's the perfect temperature for some beer. And on the left, that is a lobster roll. Now that's a monster lobster roll from Monahan's at Narragansett Beach. And that's my favorite lobster roll in the biz. Got some onion rings in there as well. So I was all into my summer vibes this weekend with lobster rolls and beer on ice and little makers as well. So it was awesome. And hopefully you guys had a chance to kick off the summer as well this weekend in style. Last weekend when I was in Vegas, thanks everybody for enjoying the tape show. We did the tape show, and we did the interview with Dimitri Ravanos, who is down in Carolina with the Bill Belichick story circulating. Did a deep dive with him, talked about Bob's Bar, obviously. And, the whole thing. And Caserta is going to come to Bob's Bar. We had Greg Caserta join us last week talking about that from MLB Network, longtime friend of the DA show and co-worker there as well. Just to give you the breakdown on Sammy, if you didn't hear me talk about it on Tuesday's show this week on Sirius XM, I got to go see Sammy Hagar, and it was just a dream come true. I mean, these guys still rock. And this group, if you're a rock fan, that Sammy was doing a residency with in Vegas was amazing. He had Michael Anthony's longtime bassist from Van Halen, but also Joe Satriani, who is a wizard of the guitar as well, was joining him. And so you had Sammy, Satriani, and Michael Anthony performing all these Van Halen hits, and it was elite. And some of Sammy's solo work as well. It was extraordinary, and they sounded so good. I couldn't believe it. Sammy Hagar, 77 years old, and he kicked ass, legit kicked ass. And I was just blown away. Well, my brother came with me, as I mentioned on the show as well, and my brother is a photographer. He does video work as well. He's in video production. So he brought a camera, and we both got backstage, and he got some amazing footage. So we're going to chop this thing up and edit it and put it on YouTube so you guys can kind of see the experience behind the scenes. It was incredible, and Sammy treated us so kindly. The connection that we had there was with Santo Tequila. As you know, Santo's been a sponsor of ours here in Watch D.A. Live for more than a year and throughout last football season. And Sammy is part owner in Santo Tequila. Guy Fieri and Sammy Hagar are the co-owners. And you guys know I love Santo. I wouldn't steer you wrong. I think it's the best tequila on the market. And because of our work with Santo, because they appreciate this show and everything that we've kind of partnered with them with, Sammy specifically said, you got to come out to the residency. Now, I never met Sammy Hagar, but I'm like, oh my God, Sammy Hagar invited us. This is like mind-blowing to me. So we had to go out there and make it happen. So we went out there, stayed at the MGM, Park MGM, and got to see the show on Saturday. And it was just one of those pinch me moments. It was like, I can't believe I got to experience this. And we got to talk to Sammy in the green room. We got to see his pregame huddle as well with his band. His wife was there, his business manager. They were all phenomenal to us. They treated us like family. And I was so grateful. It was so incredible. It was so amazing. And I just was like, I don't know if I'll ever have anything this cool again. And if you watch a concert from backstage, you go, I don't know if I'll ever have like a live entertainment experience like this. I don't know what would be the equivalent, watching a football game from the sideline. I don't know, but it was out of this world, and it only made me more convicted that Santo's the right type of sponsor for our show. People that we really believe in, that believe in us, and I think are good at their core. And that's why Last Dive Bar is so important to me, and all their cool merch. And it's why Santo is really important to me. So, we gave a bottle of Santo out to everybody that joined us on the show in football season. As you can assume, I'm going to bring Santo to Bob's Bar in 2 weeks, so we'll be able to enjoy plenty of Santo next week as well, or 2 weeks from now. So it was awesome, and I can't wait for you guys to see the video. It is, I think it's going to be some of the coolest stuff that I've ever captured on film, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. If you guys are wondering, this cup, this was from Citi Field All-Star Game 2013. There you go. 2013 All-Star Game, Citi Field. Another amazing experience that I had. I saved this cup, and I'm like, I'm never going to give up this cup. It's just one of those plastic cups you get from the the concession stand. But I said, I don't think that Citi Field's ever going to host the All-Star Game again. And that was a really cool night. Really cool. Matt, who has been a longtime D.A. alien as well, says, describing your meeting with Sammy Hagar is how I imagine I'll feel at Bob's Bar. We're not quite at that level of celebrity, but it will be interesting in this way. And I can tell you this firsthand. You will feel like you know everybody there. And it'll be an out-of-body experience to meet the people that you listen to on the radio. Not because maybe they're bigger than life or larger than life, but just because you feel such an intimacy, a friendship with so many people that you actually have never met in person, and now you're meeting them. It's wild. It happens to me when I meet listeners. Those that have called in, have tweeted in, have listened for years, have connected with me on social media, etc. Then you finally get to meet them and go, wow, face to the name, or just here you are in person, and I know you through this platform, but we've never got to actually meet. But I feel like I've known you forever. And that's how I really feel that so many of you will get that vibe when you come to Bob's Bar in 2 weeks. You'll see Moist Pork, you'll see Kristen in Buffalo, you'll see Randy, you'll see Backwards Brian, you'll see all these people that you've heard on the radio, you've seen on social media, you've seen me talk about, you've heard me talk about, etc. And then you will meet them. You've heard Mraz, then you will meet Mraz. You've heard Robbie singing, you'll meet Robbie and see him singing. You've heard Caserta, you'll see Caserta. You've heard Gelb, you'll meet Gelb. And everybody are friendly, awesome, cool people. And I think that's the one thing I'm most proud of, that wherever we have gone with the show, every city that I've been in, every iteration of the show, that I think it's attracted cool people. And if you're not cool, or I thought you had an ego, I just was like, not going to be a good fit. There's nothing wrong with, people that feel a certain way, a lot of different ways to come in and out of this universe. But for me in this show, it's always been very important to have cool people represented. That draws cool people to it. So when we have station events, you're like, oh, I say this a lot. Like when I meet people that listen to the show a lot, I'm like, I see why I feel like we're friends. Just because we have the same sensibilities. If you're drawn to the show, you probably have the same sense of humor as I do. And there's something about it that you resonate with and connect with. And you will see that at Bob's Bar, you are surrounded by those people. The same sensibilities, the same sense of humor, the same references, the same stories. It's just an incredible group. And so I'm exceedingly proud of our fans. And this show included, this YouTube channel included. You go to the comment section and you see the names and you see the comments and you see the conversation. People are funny. There's no doubt they're funny. They're in on the joke. They get the joke. They don't take themselves too seriously. We're all part of one happy, dysfunctional family, but whose family isn't dysfunctional? And I'm very, very proud of the people that are drawn to this show, and you will meet them in 2 weeks. And I can't wait to bring you all together so that you guys have that bond. And it means a great deal to me when people show up to these types of events. And that's why I said, even if I left CBS, we will always have this event. We will always do this because it's a tent pole. It's important to bring people together, and I love it. It's basically my favorite day of the year. So we had to keep this thing going, and it's coming, and it's going to be fantastic. Fantastic. You're going to walk away with best friends. And Moist Pork said it perfectly last November. He said, I came in here thinking that I had a lot of friends, and I left here knowing I had a lot of family. It couldn't have said it better. That was it. I said, that's perfect. That's it. That's exactly what it is. So I can't wait to see everybody. It is going to be absolutely awesome. And I hope that you guys had an amazing weekend as well. You know, we always have to wrap up with a Little Mo laugh of the day, right? And so Little Mo is our spirit with us all the time. He is always watching us. He will be at Bob's Bar, I promise. I know he will, because I'm bringing his bobblehead so that he can laugh and be there with us, because there would be nothing that he would love more than to be at a Bob's Bar show and say hello to everybody. We would all group hug him and give him a big bear hug and tell him how much he means to all of us. So he will be there in spirit. I will bring his bobblehead, I promise. But Little Mo laugh of the day, how about this weekend? And it's the Indy 500 weekend, obviously Memorial Day, but how about the Weenie 500 as well? Is this not amazing? We have the Weenie 500, which you gotta love. You know, these are the Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles racing. Is there ever going to be anything better than that? I think not. I once actually found an Oscar Mayer Wienermobile in San Antonio, Texas. I was driving down there to San Antonio with one of my buddies, Hector Ledesma, who works in sports television. He's one of my best friends. We went to college together. We were driving. We did a road trip to get his car after graduation from Syracuse to San Antonio. We ran into the Oscar Mayer mobile, and I was like, oh, my God. I think it was at a Taco Cabana. I was like, we got to stop at that Taco Cabana because I need to go meet the people in the Oscar Mayer mobile. I did. They were so cool. They were doing the road trip. Well, then at the Super Bowl about 6 or 7 years ago, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile was there as well, and we got to ride in it this time. And we took it to the Varsity, a legendary Atlanta hotspot. That video is actually one of my Nomad videos on this YouTube channel. So how about this? You can't beat it. It's Weenie Mobile time, the Weenie 500. I mean, wouldn't you like to really ride in that? I mean, of all of the beautiful sporting events, Memorial Day weekend, the Weenie 500 must be the number one in all of it. A legit wiener race, as Wallace adds. Indeed. Okay, look at that. Almost on the dot, 1 hour. Can't beat it. Love you all. Thank you so much for being part of this Memorial Day Monday episode of Watch D.A. Live. I know a lot of you have family and cookouts and all that type of stuff, and you pulled yourself away for this, and I thank you. If you're watching on the replay, I thank you as well. As I said before, I had a grandfather who served in World War II. I have incredible respect for those who have served, and specifically their families as well, especially for those that we've lost in their families. A great documentary that is out right now is on Apple TV about the Vietnam War, 50 years from the Vietnam War. I think it does a wonderful service and justice to those that served in a murky, unpopular war, that were thrust into a terrible situation and had to come home to deal with that. Those Vietnam vets deserve incredible respect, as every veteran does. That documentary really gets to the root of that in so many ways. I think it's 5 or 6 parts. It's narrated by Ethan Hawke. It's just called Vietnam, I think, in their words. It is powerful. It is incredible. But on today, a day that we should remember those that we've lost, it's something to keep in mind if you want to watch something to kind of keep that close to home. Anyway, that will do it for us tonight here on the show. Want to also welcome on a new member of the team. Alex Stryzek is going to be joining us. Alex was a collegiate pitcher. You might have heard him on the PGP this week. Alex is a grinder. He's a hard worker. He loves the show. He said he loves the radio show. He called me to see if, he would be able to come watch the show. Actually, I pitched it to him. I said, it's so nice that you reached out to me. If you want to come watch the show, come in. So we watched the show earlier this week. We had him on the PGP on Tuesday if you want to listen to him. I said, Alex, there's always a spot on Watch D.A. Live if you want to pitch it. He goes, I'm in. So he's there today as an associate producer, watching the whole thing behind the scenes with Aiden. So we welcome Alex to the frame as well. Appreciate you, buddy, being with us on this fine day doing the show. There's Alex. Good to see you, dude. Awesome
Good to see
have you here on the
everyone.
show.
Appreciate y'all having me.
And your first Watch D.A. Live, not only do you have a beautiful Dominique Wilkins jersey behind you, which, of course, makes you one with the DA show, but also you got to hear a Mentos commercial by Robbie Rosenhaus. So a very special day for you to join.
It's a dream come true, the Mentos commercial especially.
So good to have you aboard, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you all.
Okay, there you go. Alex Strizak is going to be part of the DA show team as well moving forward. So we'll have some more backstory on him. But if you want to listen to the PGP, he has a very funny turn in there as well. So that's going to do it for us here on the show. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Can't wait to see you in 2 weeks. The last Watch DA Live before Bob's comes up next Sunday, and Mraz will join us for the official kickoff week for the show. So make sure you are locked in right here. Thanks to Aiden Hatton, executive producer. Thanks to all the D-Aliens for watching us tonight. We appreciate you very much. We will see you tomorrow morning on Sirius XM Channel 82 and the DA Show with Babchick. Be good to one another. The mothership disconnects.